been with us since season 0. I really appreciate you, but welcome to season 1. And I am joined today with the great Rezia Hayes. Man, Rezia Hayes, she is a creative director, a photographer, and just an overall great ball of energy. So please make her feel welcome.
Thank you, Jed-Lee. That was so sweet.
Yeah.
Jed-Lee is an amazing person, painter, philosopher, brother in Christ.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah.
So one thing about Rezia Hayes is she is definitely one of the great new archivists that's going on. And archival work is honestly my favorite form of photography at this point because history is always being written presently, right?
Facts.
And you really want to make sure that you're capturing these moments as they happen so that
Facts.
the people of the future can really have something to look back on and actually experience it with the people of this time, which is the present. So I want to talk to you about what you enjoy capturing. What makes your camera eyes light up?
In short, black people.
Yeah.
I can cuss on here?
Go ahead. do your
Okay.
thing.
I love my niggas. So yeah, in short, black people, but I really love just capturing kind of like the everyday. I feel like that's overlooked a lot. I lean into two styles, which is like editorial and fashion work, which is like more planned and creative and very meticulous and detailed.
Yeah.
And then more into like street and documentary work where I can't plan or control anything. Like I feel like I know some people in their documentary work will direct people on like where to sit and like what to do, but that feels illegal to me. So yeah, I like just capturing things as they are because, like you said, it'll be history one day. If it's shot today, it'll be history tomorrow. So
Absolutely. And I think the entropy of just the natural occurrence of things, you know what I mean? Like, as you were saying, it feels illegal to kind of like stage things when you're capturing like present moments. I feel like the way things naturally occurs is the best type of staging. I saw that you were in Coconut Grove the other day. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. I'm not from Miami. I'm from Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I moved to Miami about 3 years ago now, a lot of my homegirls are from Miami, and I will always hear them talk about like Goombay this, Goombay that, you gotta do this, that, and the third. And I knew about Carnival, which happens here or in like the Fort Lauderdale area, which is like an overall like Caribbean festival, I think.
Right, yeah.
But Goombay is specifically for Bahamian people. And so my boyfriend, shout out Farronaldo on Instagram.
Yes, shout him out.
He's Bahamian Jamaican.
Okay.
And so I've been feeling a little bit closer to Caribbean culture because I'm just from the South.
You're just Black American.
Just, hey.
For sure.
So yeah, I made it my mission to get down there in Coconut Grove and document Goombay for my own lens because we know that all parts of Miami are being gentrified right now. And again, like how we said, you know, the present day will be history.
Right.
And so it just felt really important for me to be there. And then I learned in retrospect from a friend and he's been in Miami for 30 years, but that was the first time Goombay had been back and like really like live like that. Like there was a lot of people.
Yeah.
He did let me know that typically there are like more artisanal crafts there. It was a lot of food truck vendors, but he was like, that's the first time he's seen Goombay fully fleshed out like that. So it felt divine to be there. But yeah, that was some of my documentary work.
That's fire. So, man, that's amazing. So it was really the first time that you were able to experience it. So you were from Gainesville. What part of Miami are you staying in right now?
Right now, I'm staying Overtown.
Town
Towners for life. And I feel very close to the community and people there. I'm happy that I ended up in Overtown. I remember when I was originally looking for apartments in Miami, they were very hard to find.
Right.
I actually moved to Miami in the middle of a housing crisis. So I do give all glory to God on that one.
Absolutely.
But I remember one of my coworkers is from Miami, and I was telling him, like, oh, I found this apartment in Overtown. What do you think? And he was like, I wouldn't move there. Like, it's real dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, people get shot. And at the time, the apartment I was looking at, I sent it to one of my homegirls who's from Liberty City. And she was like, oh, girl, that's Killer Avenue. Yeah. So
Killer Avenue.
yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe Overtown's not the place for me. But I did end up finding an apartment not on Killer Avenue.
Thank God.
Yeah, right. And that's where I've been since. And I love it there. Even though Overtown is kind of fading from what it used to be, the people there are still there, and the
Right.
culture is still alive, it's still resilient, and it's still strong.
Right, and I want to like touch on like Overtown for a bit because I remember when I first started coming down to Miami, I was an Uber driver in like 2019, right?
Okay,
And
just
I knew there
before
was
we-
no type of motion that I was gonna get. Not 2019. What am I talking about? 2022 is when I started trying to like take my artwork seriously. And I'm like, okay, I'm the face of unemployment right now. I need to make some bread right now. So I went down to Miami because the Uber drives up in Fort Lauderdale just wasn't hitting. But like I didn't really know much about Miami, but it was around Art Basel time, and I'm like, listen, this is when it's gonna be booming. Everybody needs a Uber ride right now, and I just went down there, and there are a lot of tourists, right? But there are a lot of natives, and whenever I ran into a Miami native, I would really like sit and talk to them, and be like, yo, like tell me about your experience with Miami. How have things changed? When do you think things changed? And most importantly, what areas do you want me to avoid? Because I don't know the area like that. And the three places they told me was Opelika, Liberty City, and Overtown. And this is no diss to them, but this is me like coming in from an outsider and like getting that perspective from the people. But it's like you sent me a food spot that we got not gonna name because you don't want me to blow the spot up. But it was in one of those cities, and at first I was a little nervous. You feel me? I'm green, like I ain't from here, right? But it's like I was immediately felt like at home. You know what I mean? Like, cause like everybody around me looks like me. Everybody's just casually going about their day. And I was watching a TED talk about like the danger of one story, right? Like from the outside in, everybody's getting the perspective of Overtown, Liberty City, these dangerous, hostile places, avoid at all costs. But it's like there's real people here with like real history, real lives, real legacies that just gets overshadowed because we're not giving the microphone to the people who are from there.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. You're from Fort Lauderdale, right?
Yeah, I was born in the Lauderhill Sunrise area.
Okay, okay. Is that historically black? I feel like
Lauderhill is definitely more notorious in Broward as historically black. I live kind of on the edge of it where it's more suburban. You feel me? And it's like I speak from a place of privilege, and it's like I acknowledge that whenever like I'm approaching these types of situations because I want to be educated on how things go. Like that's the best thing we can do.
yeah. I asked because I wanted to know. I know before moving to Miami, I only knew, and it's not even Miami related, but I knew Broward because of somebody I met in college. I knew that like Sis Trunk was the worst place that you could possibly be.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Sistrunk is completely gentrified right now.
Is it really?
Like it's barely there's like barely any hood. It's all just new high rises. It's all
Really?
just yes. It's like dog parks.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sistrunk is not at all what it used to be.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy to hear. Because when they told me about it, they're like, yeah, you don't want to go. And even my mom for a little bit, when I was like 12 or 13, she lived in Broward for a little bit, and she did stay in such Trunk very briefly.
Yeah.
But to hear that it's like successfully been gentrified is crazy. I thought it was gonna be pretty resilient to it.
Man, here's the thing with like South Florida and gentrification. Well, because it's like I'm learning about gentrification through like those TED Talks that I learned from you. And I used to think like what's the issue? We're just trying to like rebuild these areas with better buildings and stuff like that. But the problem is it raises the price of the area, which pushes the original residents out. So it's like whenever they try to like build up development, it's not like they're like upgrading these buildings. They're like completely tearing them down and building up new ones.
Exactly.
And I had recently went to Chicago, and I'm seeing how they preserve their city. It's completely night and day compared to like South Florida, because it's like you will see a building that's older than your granny, and it's still standing up strong, and it's still just like a casual place for people to just like exist around. You know what I mean?
Something that I noticed talking to a Miami native.
Yeah.
Shout out Everton Allen if you're watching.
Shout out.
We were talking about, so the TED Talk that you're referencing is with Stephanie Van, I can't remember her full last name, but hers was on Overtown. It was a TED Talk Overtown.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, I had the honor, also, I feel like I'm giving a lot, but also shout out
Go ahead.
Impact Edition.
Shout out.
Magazine, yeah, go buy one, go read an article. But some of my work was featured in their most recent publication, which talks about like, how do we evolve without changing, or how do we evolve without forgetting?
Yes.
And something that I was talking to Everton about, because we were talking about the buildings that I took, the buildings that I captured and that were also featured in the publication. One of those buildings is now being renovated into like a lounge, I think. I do believe it's Black owned, which is like a plus.
Okay.
But Miami is, and I do speak as a transplant, but what I've noticed is that, you know, Miami is a city where history and culture is not necessarily priority to be preserved.
Right.
And I love Miami. I love living here, but it is a city that can be bought and very easily.
Yeah.
But I think one of the ways that like you preserve the history and the culture is through art.
Absolutely.
Painting, acrylic, sculpture, performance art, music, even like Miami Community Radio. It's like preserving people that are actually from Miami, proximity to Miami, and, you know, from here.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a thought when you're talking about Chicago. I'm thinking about how maybe Chicago has more like incentive to protect, you know, the historic buildings and things like that.
Because it's like people aren't really like immigrating to Chicago how people immigrated to Miami, especially around the pandemic. You know what I mean? Because I think the story was, because I asked the residents what it's like and why it changed and what they noticed. And apparently Florida was very lax during the pandemic as far as its regulations.
Apparently. You was here.
I was here.
You remember.
Bruh, listen, I was in my own little world. I didn't care what nobody
remembers.
else.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah. But basically it was very lax. And the mayor of Miami basically invited all these tech companies and startups, yo, come down here. There's not a lot of regulations. You got a lot of real estate property. Come do y'all thing. We're trying to make it the new Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And with all these people coming in with all their money, like that's the thing, like the government in itself can be bought. So it's like if the people with the actual bread are like pushing a certain narrative, that pushes the people that were actually here down. And during that TED Talk, she said something very interesting. It's like, it's crazy how the people that the decisions impact the most barely get any input.
Yeah, that's a fact. I didn't know that about the mayor. I didn't know that the tech hubs and things like that were invited to Miami. I thought it was kind of like a natural sequence of things where people are like, okay, it's quarantine. We don't know how long this is going to be. I'm now working from home. I live in San Francisco or I live in New York, and the weather is going to be bad soon. So I might as well just move to where I can keep my New York salary and live somewhere that was relatively cheaper at the time and get like good weather and things like that. But I didn't know that makes sense though.
Yeah.
That check out.
It does.
That check out.
It's probably a mixture of both too, because it's like now the prices of everything is New York-esque. And it's like, bro, like we still making the same amount of bread at our jobs that we usually did. Like the fact that it's incredibly difficult to be a young homeowner right now. The real estate prices are just unreasonable. It's literally for the wealthy. You're
looking to own a home? Ideally.
But it's like I know that it's not feasible, so I'm just trying to focus on like what I have and maintaining and steadily growing that.
Yeah, we're not that far removed from homeowner generation, so it's still a lot of like pressure on us. I feel like Gen Alpha, whoever, I guess.
The Jets?
Yeah, the little ones.
Yeah.
I think they are less connected to the idea of owning a home or owning anything really because they didn't grow up in a world where people around them owned much.
No.
So it's nice to hear that, you know, I'm right there with you. I was considering buying, but I'm like,
it's not the time.
It's not the time.
We got to let like this housing market crash. Something got to happen. God got to step in to turn this economic state around.
Please.
Bro, it's ridiculous. But yeah, like speaking on Gen Alpha, the thing is like we're always like living in the world that the generation before us created. I was talking to Shayla the other day, bro. Shayla is great. Like the way that she can articulate these ideas, and we're talking about time and the passage of it, and how like people of the past were always like fighting for a better future, and all those decisions like kind of layered on to impact today. And it made me think about the agency that we have is like we're Gen Z. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Never ask women her age, y'all. That's not okay.
It's okay.
I'm 24. So it's like we like at the very top of the Gen Z.
We're whatever they tell us we are.
They tell me I'm Gen Z. I don't care.
Well, what else would you be?
I don't know. What else would I be for real?
You're not a millennial.
Yeah,
right. Damn sure ain't that.
For sure. But it's like I think of us like people in our age range as like big bro and big sis, right? Like all of Gen Z and Gen Alpha is looking up at us like, yo, like what are you gonna do, right? Because like
Yeah.
what you do kind of reflects on what we gonna do.
Yeah.
And I realize that us Gen Zers, we're not like going for it. Like we see the unfairness, the complete disregard for us and all the generations after us, and we're pissed.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like we're getting a lot more active as far as combating it or like banding together and making sure that everybody else feels seen. But we got to do something to kind of organize ourselves more, like because it's like here's the thing, your boy not trying to get into politics for real, and it doesn't feel like either party is genuinely like for our interest. But the thing is, like, by definition, the government's supposed to be for the people, by the people. So anytime
That's a
that I
fact.
see like a petition or like a political movement going on, even those protests
Sign
that were
it.
going on, like the No Kings protests, I looked at that and I felt so proud because it's like we still got our voice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like no one's gonna take that away from us, even if they try to deplatform us and intimidate us as much as possible.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think something I think about a lot is like when in like I'm always trying to decide, are we reaching a boiling point or are we already there? Are we already cooked? Because Margaret Atwood has that quote. She's the author of The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
And I might chop the quote up a little bit,
Do your
but
thing.
to paraphrase, she said that, sitting in a bathtub where the water is progressively getting worse will kill you eventually. Like it'll kill you without you even noticing that you've been
Right.
cooked.
Right.
And I feel like that's where we were back in 2016, 2017 when I read that quote.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to decide, are we at the boiling point now? Are we still reaching it? And then it's like, at what point do we have enough? Because I don't think people had enough just yet. I think we're still. I just watched a crazy conspiracy theory TikTok. I couldn't really get into it too much.
Yeah.
You looking like you want to know what it is.
I do. I just want to know how wild it's gonna be
It's
before
like-
you let it fly.
Have you ever seen the movie They Clone Tyrone?
Yes.
I haven't. I watched some. Don't fight me.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
I started it. See,
Yeah.
the mistake was starting to watch the movie at 11 o'clock at night. Then I fell asleep.
Right. Yeah.
But it's essentially like when I was reading the comments, and people are like, "This is literally the plot of They Clone Tyrone." We're basically just using like entertainment and media to like hypnotize
And
or like
suppress.
subdue,
Yeah.
disrest and like social and civil unrest.
Right.
And so having that theory in the back of my mind, and also just thinking like, I don't know if people have had enough. I don't know if we'll ever reach a point where. I don't know if the point is soon, like within the next 6 months. I don't think people are gonna be upset enough. Not like we're upset,
We're pissed.
pissed, very disgusted. My stomach turns every time I get a breaking news email from the New York Times.
Right.
But I think, and no disrespect to Gen Alpha, maybe a little disrespect.
They're not watching this yet.
All right, they ain't,
They ain't live right
yeah,
now, no.
they're not live right now. But I think they're a little too content. I think they like let a lot of life like pass them. They let things like happen to them or be imposed onto them, and they're not very like active participants in life. And it's not their fault.
I mean, they are children.
Yeah, but I mean, Gen Alpha, they're like 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't see, this is what I mean. I don't know when all that shit start and stop. Like, when does
Bro,
Gen Z end?
let's say Gen Alpha is like 12-year-olds and under. Let's just say
And
that.
under?
And under.
No, I think they can vote. Not vote. I think they're close to being able to vote.
Nah, bro. Like 16-year-olds are still Gen Z.
16-year-olds.
Yeah. For the analogy, okay. So let's say people who are still in high school right now. For
Are
like
Gen
what-
Z? Or
Yeah.
Gen Alpha?
I think they're all Gen Z right now.
I don't know, because, like, you got to think some of them kids was born in 2012. And you know what I mean? Yeah.
Nah, they're not in high school yet.
You got to be, 14 to start high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. Yo.
Yeah, twin.
Time flies, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But enough about them. Enough
Yeah,
about them.
as you were saying. Yeah. But here's the thing, like when it comes to like people who haven't graduated yet, they're kind of just forced to go with the motions. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. Like, my frontal lobe's still developing. I'm 24. You know what I mean? So you can only imagine where they at with
Man.
everything. And, like, growing up in American culture right now, because everything's a meme.
And that's the issue.
That's the like, bro, Americans, they just get so, like, tired of stuff that all they can do is, like, laugh at it.
Let me just say, when you turn 25, that shit gonna ding off in your head like an easy bake oven. The cake will be baked. I promise you.
Bro, I'm looking forward to that moment, man.
I'm not even joking. Like, this is gonna sound so ridiculous, but at 11:58, I felt 11:58 the day before my birthday, the 2 minutes before it was the clock struck 12.
Yeah.
I felt something shift, and I'm
Bruh.
not playing. I felt something shift, and then like the next day, once my birthday was over, I woke up. I was like, "There's new clarity here.
Okay.
Something's." They moved the furniture around. Like something's different.
Can you describe life since your frontal lobe fully developed?
Wow. Much more serious. I still try to find the whimsy,
Right.
but I think the biggest thing is just like knowing where and when to put my energy towards certain things. I was super, super, super like social justice warrior, very active when I was a teenager and even into like my early 20s. And then I just kind of realized this needs your attention and this doesn't. Like,
Right.
on like a petty scale, like, I don't think you watched Love. You didn't watch Love
I
Island.
don't watch Love Island.
Do you watch reality TV at all?
No, my girl does. So it's like,
Shout out your girl.
shout out to her.
Shout out.
Shout out to her. She watching this right now.
Mhm.
Hey.
Yeah.
She be watching that. We're not gonna get into.
No, you're
my
not gonna say
stances
baddies,
on-
are you?
Go. What?
You-
Yo, we watched Flavor of Love, and I actually enjoyed it so much.
That's classic television.
Bro, we getting derailed. We'll talk about Flavor of Love.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a
But that's
classic, though.
culture.
Yeah,
That's culture.
that's a classic right there.
I was gonna say though, like, in the realm of like Love Island on a petty sense, like when I see people like tracking like who's unfollowing who and like all these little things, I'm like, that's very unemployed and very undeveloped frontal lobe of you.
Right.
Like, you have time to do that. I literally
How?
rent due in about a week and a half. You know, we
Mhm.
got to get things situated and figured out. I
Right.
have personal projects that I want to work on, friends and family to keep up with.
Right.
So learning priorities definitely
Absolutely.
post 25.
Yeah. I feel for chronically online people,
Mhm.
and eventually my audience will include the chronically online. This for y'all. I love y'all. Bro, there is unspeakable values of touching grass and disconnecting. Because, like, I remember having to realize, like, yo, I got to watch where my energy goes to, especially, like, when it comes to, like, social justice. Because it's like, bro, like, I care, like, so much, but I know no matter how pissed off I am, there's not much I can do in this moment. You know what I mean? So when it
That's
comes
a
to,
fact.
like, serious stuff like that, because it's like, bro, like, we're honestly, like, citizens, we don't have that much, like, agency for things. Like, we get to vote like every 4 years. We vote in like primaries and local elections every like 2 or so,
Yeah.
and then after that we just kind of have to go with the flow. Just
The things I say, I cannot say. The
No.
things that I want to say, I cannot say. But you have a lot more power than you think.
say it then.
Well, first, I want to actually circle back to being chronically online. How do
Yes.
you disengage? Do you just like log out, or do you like or do you just disengage for like a couple hours and you feel reset? Because that's something I've been working on too.
Yeah, honestly, man, sometimes, because I like to observe myself. Like, my practice requires me to reflect and perceive myself a lot, and I watch myself just let hours fly by, like on
On
YouTube or TikTok. And when I realize this, I'm like, listen, either I can continue to ride this wave, or I need to delete this app. It's like, there's like this verse. It's like, it's better for you to like cut off your arm than to like continue to like sin with it. You feel me? And that's
Yeah.
kind of like the same thing that I use like with these apps, man. Like, it's better for me to delete this off my phone than like give it all of my time, because these apps are designed to be as consuming and addicting as possible. So when you
so you
realize,
just straight up delete it.
I have to.
Wow.
I have no choice,
Wow.
because I will literally waste my present moment, and there's nothing more valuable than that.
Do you feel like you're a really disciplined person? Do you feel like you're a disciplined person? Really is a lot to say. But do you feel like you're a disciplined person? Do you feel like you have it?
No.
Me
I
either.
pray for it every night, though, genuinely, because I feel like discipline is like the final ingredient that I need to get to where I need to be as a person, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like there's an idea that you fake it till you make it, right? But it's like I don't like it like that because faking sounds like it's false, like it's not true. But it's like you have to embody the person that you want to be in order for it to actually happen. Like
That's a
so
fact.
many times I try to like just flip a switch and like change over like overnight. Like nigga, it does not work like that.
Yeah.
You have to gradually give yourself baby steps and distance yourself from certain things. Like I used to smoke like every day, dog. And that was like my coping mechanism. I felt alive when I started smoking, like especially growing up sheltered and like finding my stoner friends and finally feeling like I found my people. That became like rooted to my identity. But then I had got a dream where the Lord's like, "Hey, you want the stuff that you say you want? Got to stop all that."
Yeah.
And it's not like I could just put it down immediately. It's not like the Lord came to me in like a cloud. It's like, "My son, stop smoking that za."
Right.
You feel me?
It wasn't no burning bush.
No, it was not. You feel me? And it's like I had to be patient with myself and gradually do things like copying less and less and blocking certain plugs. And my friends
Not
that
blocking the plug.
bruh, y'all don't care about me, man. Y'all don't care about me. Y'all just want my bread.
What if he hit you? I was like, "Hey, bro, you good?"
Bruh.
And then the message didn't go through.
Listen, I had friends that were plugs, and I let them know, yo, under any circumstances, do not give me any more. I don't care what I say. I don't care what I ask. Do not sell to me no more. I'm done. And they all respected that.
As they should. They're good friends.
They're
and
good friends.
Okay, knowing that, okay, who cares about the other ones being blocked? You talk to the people that mattered. That
Right.
like, hey, don't. I'm turning over a new leaf.
Right. Well, it's like I would tell the plugs like, yo, like I'm done, and they're like, okay. But it's like I'm also like a very like kind person. Like I'd be asking the plugs like how they feeling. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like they be asking how much a G, but how is a G? Yo, like plugs are people too.
That's a fact. That's
you
a
feel
fact.
me? Like bro, like they gotta. Real quick side tangent. People don't treat plugs like people.
No.
They don't care if you got a personal life. They don't care if you sleep. They want it now. They want it yesterday, bruh.
But also sometimes too, it's like, do the plug really want the bag? Because I don't smoke. I haven't smoked in like, I recently hit the bomb with my boyfriend like last weekend before last.
Yeah.
But before that moment, I haven't smoked in like a year for sure.
Amen.
And I did it. I honestly only did it because the weed got scary. It got very scary. I was starting to breathe heavier. I was starting to feel very anxious. I felt like the people in my life hated me. Like I was being weird too much. It's because when they, made it legal, allegedly, I feel like they started putting some shit in it. But that's me wearing my aluminum foil cap.
Hey, man.
Like,
That's not too far-fetched.
like they started, I'm scared. I need Reggie. Give me Reginald. I want to smoke what Aunt them smoke. I could spark up a blunt with them on that.
Bruh, but here's the thing. The only reason that weed wasn't legalized sooner is because they struggled to regulate it. So now that they actually have that infrastructure put in place, they can do anything at any time. This is another pivot. Bruh, you don't read your terms and conditions, do you?
Sometimes.
No, you don't.
No,
bruh.
I swear, in my life, in my 26 years, I've read 3 terms and conditions.
Can you name what they were for?
Pinterest,
Uh-huh.
I don't know the other 2, but I know for a fact I read.
The whole thing.
Skim. I'm not gonna, sometimes all you need to do is the first letter of the sentence,
Yeah.
first word of the sentence, and the last word, and your brain will infer what goes next where. But I've definitely read Pinterest term and conditions.
Okay.
And I feel like I read, because I remember reading it 3 times, because each time I'm like, wow, I'm actually reading the terms and conditions.
How mature?
I don't know what I was looking for either.
Here's why I bring it up. Because, like, we're in the day and age where our information is always being sold. And I think about it like, bro, when I update my phone, I don't read that. I just say agree. But it's like, what are we agreeing to? We could be agreeing to anything at this moment.
Yeah.
And we, like, sold part of ourselves away because we didn't feel like being inconvenienced. And I feel like there's going to become a time where companies start to prey on that more. I think Apple, my friend just told me, Apple got sued because the Apple Watch taking your vital information, right? So apparently Apple was selling that information to health insurance providers on the low.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah, and there's a huge class action about it.
That's crazy. I know I had damn near got the entire Apple ecosystem except the watch because that would just make me feel too much like a cyborg. I know it's like, girl, be for real. But when I started tracking my steps more, I'm like, I want the watch. But I'm like, girl, you don't need a watch. I got the pen, the iPad, the MacBook, the phone,
Man,
it all.
monopoly.
I was going to ask, when
Yeah.
you were smoking, did you feel more creative or less?
So here's a little origin story for
All right.
those of y'all don't know. It's gonna get a little heavy, right?
Okay.
So
I'm here with you.
thank you. So I started creating, I want to say a year or two after the pandemic when it first started. I ended up losing my father to COVID-19.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I mean-
it's hard. I went to therapy.
Okay,
You
that's
feel me?
good.
So it's like your boy. I did my due diligence to like try to mentally stabilize myself, but I also went through even more stuff. I went through emotional abuse and other kinds of abuses that we're not gonna say because TOS and YouTube. We're gonna worry about that later. And yeah, it was so bad to the point where like I couldn't even focus on my grief at all. And I started going to therapy, and you know, even my mom, like she was hurting too. And that's one thing that we have to acknowledge as people, that like our parents are people with their own struggles and shortcomings and very layered stories and characters, and we got to acknowledge that and just kind of give them some grace. But she was pissed, and I just needed some time away. And I sat with my friend and we took some shrooms, and because I just needed like a mental vacation. Like I really enjoyed psychedelics a while ago. I don't take them anymore.
Yeah.
But me and my friend, it feels like a complete vacation, like from reality. And
That's
I
a
needed
fact.
that. So me and my friend, we just sat in my car, and I just had these paint markers because I just had the bright idea to just get a canvas, get some markers, and just do something. You know what I mean? And that's what really founded me actually starting to create for real and try to like create
Wow.
artwork, because the core of it is like I just needed a space to just be. Like I didn't want to be like a son, I didn't want to be a brother, I didn't want to be a friend. I just needed to be. Like I just needed some time to myself to just like feel what I needed to feel, cuz
Yeah.
there's this term that I'm using now called emotional congestion. And it happens a lot in men because we don't really know, we're not really taught to express our emotions and be expressive and like actually talk about what's bothering us. Like
Yeah.
we're really taught to just stomach it and just hold it in. Boys don't cry, all that spiel. But that raises a generation of young men who are completely out of touch with themselves, and they don't know who they are except for what they are to other people, right? And when you do that, then your sense of self is always flimsy, because those same people that you allow to define you can suddenly just switch up because they misunderstand you, and now your sense of self is shattered. And that's something that I was going through. And it's like I started creating because I needed that space to just be and feel. And my practice focuses on allowing other people, but especially men, to feel that the same way. Like I work with young men in my church right now. They're like around like 14, 15. And it's like, bruh, like they be trying to be so fake nonchalant. I'm like,
Yeah.
brother, like feel how you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, God forbid, like you grow up your entire life like this and you get a partner and she wants you to open up and you don't even know how to acknowledge that. Or she
Yeah.
really not treating you right and you don't even know how to acknowledge that because you're just taught to like suck it up the whole time. And
Yeah.
I just, me, myself, I want to just put out an energy of healing and self-acceptance and vulnerability, because I like to say only things that are always hard can crack and crumble. You feel me? So we really need time and people who allow us to be soft here and there. You know what I mean? Because there's a time and place for everything.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But
Time to live, time to die.
Exactly. But you got to let it out sometimes, man. So
Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that about you.
Thank you.
That is kind of what I was thinking about. I was thinking about a lot when you were talking, but knowing that like the intro into your practice came when you were like on a trip, did you feel? I had two questions. One, would you say that like your practice was kind of born out of escapism?
Yes.
And then, okay, then with that, how were you? Because escapism could be like a lifelong vice, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like you're not in that space anymore where you feel that desperate need to escape. So like when you stop smoking, and you still trip a little bit? Ain't no
No,
shame. Okay,
I
okay.
don't.
Sometimes people drop. I don't smoke weed, but I do eat shroom. But like how did you, or like how were you able to maintain your practice without feeling like, "Fuck, I need to be high to like really create some shit"? Like, did you ever feel like that?
I definitely did, especially
Yeah.
when I first decided that I wanted to stop smoking.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like I didn't want to let external things define me, right? Like if I'm not allowing other people's perceptions of me to define me, then how can I allow this substance to dictate like whether I'm creative or not?
Yeah.
Like it was really more like an act of rebellion against being codependent on something. Like I
love that.
wanted to not be codependent on anything or anyone. Yes, we need people. Yes, we need to like have recreation and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, I can't. I can't do this because I already knew. Because your boy also has ADHD, right? So the weed would just make that so much worse.
Really? I thought you were
Yes.
going to say it put you on like a.
I wish. I got homies that like can like study high. I don't know.
I
how
used to
they
be
do
like that.
That's insane.
I used to go to my stats class high. It's the only time it made sense.
Word.
Yeah.
We gotta do like mental research on people like you.
Like, I mean, I don't. To me, what it was that, well, first it had to be sativa.
Right.
Indica, it was not. That was not exactly. But for some reason, I just felt like I was able to like tap in deeper.
Yeah.
And it just also made, when you high, anything is interesting.
Right.
And I can really muse over anything. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, if I go to class high, I'm really gonna lock in with what this professor's
Mhm.
saying. I mean, I graduated. I think I had a C in that class. C's get degrees.
Caesar got degrees. Yeah.
So
Get it done.
yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like I really, cause it's not like the weed. Here's the thing: I started smoking out of escapism, first and foremost. Like I grew up. I'm about to give my whole lore dump. I grew up like my dad was the head pastor of my church. He founded it. It was like his immigrant success story. He came to America in the 80s.
You're Haitian, right?
Yeah, I'm Haitian.
Ça passe.
Naboule. What you know about that?
I know a little wump con juge. I know a little bit. Como ye?
Muy bien.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
whoever taught her Creole, thank you. Appreciate
Shout out
it.
Daphne.
I'm a keep the lessons up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically, he founded this church in 1990, and he was like a really big community leader for the Broward Haitian Christian space. And he was notorious, and people really loved him because he was everything that a pastor should be, right? But with being there for everybody, it kind of like takes, like, there's a give and take for all the time you have. So it's like he was really like there for them. So it's like by the time he got home, he was busy helping everybody else. He'd be exhausted. He would just need me to like have good
sure.
grades, and I had undiagnosed ADHD. So
It was hard for you to do that.
It was
Like,
hard for me to do
I'm
that.
trying my best.
You feel me? So your boy really couldn't like meet his standards. I'm like, bruh, I ain't gonna meet these standards anyways. Everybody at the church telling me to be a pastor, and I'm only like 12. You feel me? Like, you know what? Screw it,
Really?
bro. Yes.
That's crazy.
From my birth, everyone was like, "Hallelujah, we have an heir."
Oh my gosh.
Yes, bro. They
That's
still
so
be doing
much.
that. They still be doing that, and it's like I try to not be annoyed, but it bothers me because it's like y'all don't even see me for me. Y'all just see me as an extension of my dad.
Yeah, and like a vessel to keep the bloodline going, and just to fill the spot. Not
That's
even
what I'm
like
saying.
ain't nobody ever asked.
Yeah, like ask me how I'm doing, bro.
Exactly. Ask me what I want to do.
Right. You feel me? So because of all that pressure from 500 Haitians and my dad, I'm like, you know what?
And they'll put a lot of pressure on you.
I'm done, right? And in high school, I found my stoner friends, and it's like I found solace in that because suddenly I was introduced to a new world with different types of music and different types of people,
fact.
and something that would just give me some real long-lasting dopamine. And I'm like, I'm gonna just do this. So I started smoking to like escape from my current reality. But like after my dad passed away, and me having a lot of regret for feeling like we didn't get to reconcile our relationship because I figured we'd have time, and like escaping into that, I realized that like the feeling would always come back like after I sobered up, or even worse, it would intensify like as I was high. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
listen,
man.
yes, bruh. Yeah.
Very scary.
So I'm like, this is not the solution, and I need
Yeah.
to be able to find a way. Despite this, like escaping from my problem isn't gonna work because I'm gonna run away and I'm gonna come back and it's still gonna be here.
That's a fact.
You feel me?
Grief is circular. You'll never stop grieving whoever you lost.
Right.
And that's what I try to tell. That's why I try to always remind the people around me that have experienced grief. We've all lost somebody that we love.
Right.
But it's different when it's a parent or
Mhm.
even a grandparent that raised you. But it's like
Yeah.
you'll never get over the grief. And that's just what you just said, that like you can get as high as you want to, but you got to come down eventually.
Exactly.
And you still gonna have the same problems and the same issues.
Mhm.
So how long have you, like, I hate to say been clean, because it's not like you was on no crack or nothing. No, it ain't like that. But like, when was the last time you smoked?
It's been over a year now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Like, bro, like being sober, it's a great feeling, honestly, because it's like I don't feel like I'm running anymore. Well, at least not with substances, and that makes me feel a lot better of myself. That I don't need something to like have peace within myself. You know what I mean? Like I've been able to find that through myself and like through God, and like genuinely healing, and being present. Yeah, bro.
What?
Go ahead.
No, what? What were you gonna say?
Because sometimes I'd be thinking like, man, because it's not like I regret my time
being high.
Yeah, I don't regret
I don't
it.
either.
I used to think like, bro, like I'm a youth leader now. Like, how could I have been doing that? That's not right. I got to keep them from that path. But it's like, bro, I had a lot of fun. Like when the times was good, you feel me? When it wasn't just cope.
Yeah.
And I had to, my friends told me, because I randomly got in the chat all sad. I'm like, bro, I can't believe I used to smoke, bro. Man, I should have been doing that. I regret it. And it's like, bro, like, without those experiences, you wouldn't be exactly who you are today. So, like,
That's a
that
fact.
needed to happen. You feel me?
That's a fact.
And I feel like regret is such a powerful but useless emotion, Because it's like, bro, what's done is done. You know what I mean? And you lingering on a past moment removes you from your agency in the present.
Damn.
Like, the present moment's always happening, and now it's the past.
This
I just
nigga
said that in the
been-
past. And we're in the present right now. So it's like, what you gonna do with what you have now?
Right
Because
now.
everything that I ever regretted, I had another opportunity to try again. Like all my failures were learning lessons. Like even me feeling like, okay, my arc with my dad was incomplete. Guess what? I still have my mom.
Yeah.
Right? And I can focus on that. So it's like anybody who's like going through regret or kind of is just super hard on themselves, you got to give yourself some grace.
That's a fact.
Because anything that you do out of like guilt and regret is not going to be as blessed as what you do out of like genuine self-love and growth and especially curiosity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think when it comes to, because it's so easy to say, give yourself grace and give others grace. But the key thing to always remember is that it's undeserved. Like you don't have to do anything to deserve grace. It's just given to you. Because I always think about that. Like when I'm doing something, like, okay, let me give myself grace. But I'm like, okay, no, but you could be going harder. But the whole point is that I'm giving myself grace. Like I may not deserve it.
Right.
But I'm going to give it to myself because
Anyway,
I
yeah.
deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't regret any. It's funny that we're having this conversation because a couple of days ago, Jamar and I were talking about like how when he'll make music high and he'll also make music when he's not smoking or anything like that because, it's kind of like a proof to yourself that I still am creative and I can still do things without this assistance.
Right.
And I was telling him there was a point in my time post-graduation where I was doing this thing called Eddie for Brekkie. So every morning I would have an edible for breakfast.
Damn.
And that would be, and it's so crazy. Like I would have that edible. And like when I would take edibles, I wouldn't be hungry. So it's like I'd eat the edible and then like 7 hours later, I finally like have like lunch or something.
Right.
But when I was doing Eddie for Brekkie, I'd have the edible and then like a half hour in, I get the most intense, like crazy ideas. Like I still have mood boards from that period.
Yeah.
Those ideas have yet to come to fruition, but they will. But I remember at one point, like on my 7th Eddie for Brekkie in a row, I'm like, damn, I hope I'm not frying my brain to where I'll never be able to think of a good idea again. And I'm pleased to say that I've thought of good ideas since. So I feel you.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I didn't want to be a person that relied on a substance for my ideas. So it's like when I first started painting, my artwork was very psychedelic. If
Mm-hmm.
you've been following me for a while, you know my Instagram was the psychedelic saga, right? Because it's like I based everything off of that experience, and I tried to recapture it and like that level of clarity and peace that I felt.
Yeah.
But it's like I realized that I can't just keep on calling back to one moment, and I have to like
Mm-hmm.
evolve past this because it's like this is like always me.
Mm-hmm.
There's just things in this substance that
Bring it out
attaches
of
to my
you.
brain chemistry that brought it
Mm-hmm.
out, but it's not like I needed it to be able to be creative,
Yeah.
you know. I want to talk some more about your creations. So I saw you did
Mm-hmm.
a shoot with the Bass magazine.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
deep cut.
That's a
Shout out,
deep
Alex.
shout out. Yeah, because I was doing research on you. I was doing my homework, trying to be a good interviewee.
Yeah.
And your prompt, not prompt, but the idea was like having to go to work, but like the world is crumbling around you.
Yeah.
So was that like your idea, or was that
That was
what?
entirely Alex's idea for his I think it was like a series or like the thematic arc of Boss magazine and like what he was doing called like the Rat Race. And then he recently just dropped like a short film called The Greatest Dance Ever. You should go watch that. And so I think all of that that was all his idea. I was just a tool in that
Yeah.
beautiful conception. Okay, research.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like since you were like the photographer for it, like how did you bring that to life, and what did that idea mean to you?
I was just pleased to be collaborating with another I was pleased to be collaborating with a contemporary. And yeah, I was just happy to help. We talked over the phone, I think, for a little bit. The phone or maybe like voice messages through DM. Every shoot I do, I have to start with a consultation. I have to, like, whether it's a paying client or a passion project, I've never been the type of person to just text somebody like, yeah, we should do this.
Yeah.
Let's link up. And we link up and kind of go with the vibes from there. That's not in my nature.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised, my grandma always told me that you don't do nothing halfway.
Yeah.
And so having that in mind, I'm always thinking like, okay, to make sure this is not half-assed, I gotta, we gotta talk about it before. So we did the consultation. He told me the idea, and I was like, you know what, hell yeah, twin, let's get it going.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we met, and then that's where I met like Duchess and Silk and Chris, Ali, Jamari assisted me on that shoot, and it was a great time. I learned how to be a better co-director,
Okay.
how to work with people that I haven't met before. And I've done that before for like grad shoots and other like client bookings. But just on a creative level, I learned how to be a co-director because I'm typically always the director.
Right.
So yeah.
So tell me what it means to be a creative director. Like what it means to you, and how would you approach it? Because I know people watching this would want to be a creative director in the future. So when you like, especially when you do consultations, like what does that look like?
I just saw a post from someone that's very tenured in the industry, and they said that creative director is not a real job. And, I had to take that into account, be very humble because I've had my camera for the last 5 years, and I've recently just taken on the title of creative director because I learned that, like, if creative director is a real job,
Yeah.
it's what I was already doing naturally. So, like, planning, coordinating, putting teams together, production, and things like that. But in the post where the person was like, creative director is not a real job, they were saying to be a creative director, you have to amass years of experience being a PA, a gaffer, a lighting assistant, a stylist, a wardrobe stylist, like you have to do all these other jobs before you could be a creative director because you have to understand how all of those positions work together to create something beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
To me, though, what a creative director is having the idea and executing it. And I'm trying to adopt the saying that done is better than perfect. And I'm not a perfectionist by any means.
Yeah.
But again, I do not like to half step. So to me, it's having an idea, executing it, and then doing it at a high level, the highest level you could do it.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. So it's like when it comes to execution, especially like working with teams or like putting a creative vision together, like how do you break that down?
For me, it always somebody just asked me this the other day too. They're like, how do you come up with your ideas? And I was like, I don't necessarily come up with my ideas. I've heard people say like they get downloads from God. I'm like, I'm trying to adopt that into my language, but it just feels too crazy. You know?
It's like it comes to you, like you are blessed with the idea.
Yeah. And Rick Rubin, he has a theory that like ideas will come to you, like ideas are living things. You know that theory? And it's like they come to you, and if you don't execute it, then it goes to the next person. So I've taken on that type of perspective with it, but I get the idea, and then I think about, you know, it depends on what comes first. If like the muse comes first, like I can always see the pictures in my head.
Right.
Are you able to see paintings before you finish them, or do you just kind of follow?
I kind of follow how it goes. I never really know how a painting's gonna look until it's done. You know, because it's really based around like being in the present. It feels like journal entries, but like I'm not writing with words. I'm just using symbols that reflect how I'm feeling in the moment. You know, like it's almost like meditation where I just get to like sit with my thoughts and observe them as I just bring like these patterns out through me. The only part that actually is like planned before is like the gradient itself. You know what I mean? Because that's like the background layer.
Yeah.
Y'all about to see a quick sneak peek of my art. Yo, this ain't released yet. Don't post it, y'all. Well, by the time it's... Man, yo, listen, this is a commission. This took me forever because I'm colorblind, right? And my commissionee really wanted a magenta painting.
I think you executed.
Bruh, I still don't know what magenta is.
This is magenta. I would say this is magenta.
Allegedly. Like, I can't confirm.
So if you don't know, so how did you come to this color if you don't know?
Man, it took me like a month to like try to make it my own because my brother Carlin, like, I'm like, bro, I'm trying to make this color. Can you describe magenta as if it was like a math equation? Like, is it like pink plus red, or is it like pink plus purple? Because that's the only way that I can start to like piece these things together. And he's like, it's like a purplish pink.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. And then I started mixing purple and pink together. And then the man's like, nah, that's rose. I'm like, what do you mean that's rose? It's like how you bounce the colors together. And that's the thing with my color blindness. It makes it very difficult for me to differentiate hues.
Yeah.
Nobody believes me. And they'd be like, all right, what color is this? And it genuinely takes me like a solid 5 seconds to like process and like give a shot at what I think it is. I can see most colors, but it's like it just activates at the weirdest times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when I'm working on a gradient with paintbrush, which is why
crazy.
I prefer to like use spray paint now for my gradients, because some awesome graffiti artist, his name is Gaiman. He works at the Montana shop. He taught me how to make a gradient. Yo, shout out Gaiman.
Bring them out. Bring them out.
Yeah, so this is what I'm working on right now, y'all. You feel me? This is a commission piece, and it's like I really like using spray paint because it's like I know what color the spray paint is
because it says it.
Because it says it.
Okay, fair.
And like all I have to do is like, it's less about blending the colors together, and it's more about like the proximity of the spray paint can.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
Yeah. So it's like when I wanted to just go full, like I'm going a lot closer to it. And when I want to start to fade, I start to go farther away. Actually, episode 2 or 3 of season 0, my friend Sal is the one who teaches me better spray painting techniques. So when that gets uploaded, y'all check that out.
Shout out Sal.
Shout out Sal, man. But yeah, like,
I love this gradient.
Thank you so much. And it's like, I love the drippy texture that it gives too, because I use water-based spray paint.
I was wondering how that got there, because to me it looked like acrylic. So then when I was looking at the drip, I'm like, how do you do that?
Man, it's a beautiful accident, you know? When you're a creative, you just got to like go with the flow and not be a perfectionist, but like allow things as they come.
Yeah.
And I use water-based spray paint. If you want to get into spray painting, use water-based spray paint because it does not suffocate you to death like normal spray paint would with the chemicals. It's a lot easier on your lungs. But yeah, like I prefer to do this, but my commissionee specifically wanted acrylic paint. But if I didn't ask her what kind of paint she wanted, she wouldn't know the difference, but it's okay.
You rose to the occasion.
It is what it is now. I was going to paint during this, but you feel me? I'm enjoying the flow of the conversation.
Yay!
Plus, this is a quite large painting.
Yeah.
That would be awkward to put on my lap right now.
Yeah, that's a fact. It wouldn't be like comfortable.
Yeah. So you and like the ideas that like come to you. What is your favorite idea that you've ever been blessed with? Yeah.
Man. My favorite idea.
Or at least one of them. It's hard to just give one of them the crown.
Okay, so the one that excites me the most right now,
Yeah.
that I keep telling myself like, oh, I need like a big team for this, and I'm still working on like developing a good team. If there's any makeup artists, hairstylists, wardrobe stylists, lighting assistants, second shooters, hit me up. Rezia Hayes, ReziaHayes on Instagram. I'm trying to work. But yeah, so I'm still like trying to develop like a good team, because that's like the magic of it.
Yeah.
Is like when you like I could do, and a lot of people that I admire, there's a select few photographers that I admire where they do the hair, makeup, lighting, editing, and like they do it all by themselves. I'm like, you can do that. And also like I'm a control freak, so it's like I want to do that, but I know that we're better when we're together.
Right.
And things are better in teams. So the idea is, I saw this painting online. I saw it online on this website called Boom. It's like 7 O's.
Okay.
And I can't remember the artist, which is terrible of me, but I saved it in my iPad back in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a southern scape, and it's like this black woman, this dark skinned black woman in this like really like southern antebellum pink dress.
Yeah.
And she's sitting down having like lemonade with like a friend, and she has like, there's like this man that's like in like, what was it, the Confederacy and the Union. He's in like Union military wear.
Yeah.
And he's like standing behind her, like kind of protecting her.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such an interesting flip on like typical like race dynamics and things that I had seen before. And I want to, it's one thing to see it as a painting,
Yeah.
but it's another thing to see it as an image.
Yeah.
So I want to recreate that painting as an image.
Yo,
And that's
so
what
amazing.
is most exciting, because that's going to require like, I got to go to like Georgia and like have like, I think I should have like a big team for it.
Mhm.
Because I guess kind of going back to what you said too, like being a director is also knowing when to dictate. And I feel like that's a director for anything, whether it's creative or like anything else. Like you have to understand that like, although you may be able to do it all yourself, you could do it better with the team, and
Right.
like better with having, a person that is a hairstylist that can do
someone
hair
who
like
specializes.
exactly someone
Yeah.
that specializes in it. So yeah, I really want to work with a team of people who can like, that are like the best at what they do and can like
Mhm.
actualize that with me.
Yeah, and also with direction, like understanding that you're only one person with a finite amount of energy. And the moment you start doing too many jobs, you're going to wear yourself out and also become very irritable.
Yeah.
And no one wants to work under someone who's irritable.
Exactly. I've been trying to, a mission for myself is I'm always trying to learn how to direct like the muse better. I
Yeah.
think going back to your question, because I never answered it, but like the process of like creating an idea or a shoot or a concept is I see the image in my head first. That's why I wanted to know, do you see the painting first and then you like just work to create it, or is it just kind of like that process? Because for me, it's like I see the image,
Yeah.
and then I can always tell if a shoot goes well if I get close to what I saw in my mind. If I can get directly on the bullseye, that's amazing. But it doesn't always happen like that, and that's what I'm learning, that like there's only so much power you can have as a control freak. This is hard for me
Right.
to admit. There's only so much power you can have in executing and making something come to life. Like I did a summer editorial last year with this girl who's one of my collaborators, and she was also a crochet artist, so she made clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did this editorial on the beach, and it's like I made like a call sheet. I did like all this stuff. I had like different models, and like I brought like crafty and like snacks and everything for people to have. I had props, and then like just like one thing after the other, I felt like everything was going wrong. And then I remember at the end of the shoot when we wrapped, the images were amazing. Some of my favorite to date. One of the models, she's actually a artist herself here in Miami, Tiara Armstrong. She told me, she was like, I had such a great time. Like, thank you for like inviting me. And I was like, girl, like I felt like it was a shit show. She was like, in the creative process, there's only so much you can do. You can plan, but then, like God does the rest. And I was like, you fucking ate with that.
Spitting.
Ate with that. You spitting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I answered your question. That was a little long-winded. I'm sorry.
I think you did too. And the cool thing about talking between two artists, like things kind of like layer onto each other and are abstract. But I like to say that people remember how you make them feel more than like they remember what you say. Right. And that's kind of how I base like how connected I feel to people, especially navigating and networking the Miami and Broward art space. Like, okay, like you're this person with this connection and you're this famous and this well known, this renowned, but it's like, how did I feel like talking to you? You know what I mean? And that really dictates whether or not we stay close or not, or whether or not I feel a genuine connection. It's like, bro, I feel like prior to this, we have had one or two face to face conversations.
Yes, two exactly.
Yes, two exactly. And this is my dog. You feel me? So it's like
Twin.
it made me realize, especially like a couple of years ago, that like sometimes like those tenured relationships, like sometimes you're in friendships and relationships out of tenure and not out of like genuine connection. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I realized that I was forming great connections with people that I just met, rather than like people I've known all my life. And it's like we kind of have to follow our heart when it comes to like forming those new bonds, because it's like I just like visited this gallery that I've been wanting to visit for a while, and it was like it was cool, it was all right, right. And then I went
I
to
was like, no shot.
another gallery. It's not a shot. I'm not going. Hey, we gonna let them do
No,
their
no,
thing.
no, 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 no,
You
no,
feel
no,
me?
no, no.
But I went to this other gallery where like I actually knew the owner, the Tomas Redro Gallery.
Where's that?
I'm not from Miami, so I'm awful.
Oh, it's down here?
It's down here.
Okay.
It's down here in
I'll
Miami.
find it eventually.
Yeah, and it's like because I knew the owner and we actually like had a bond. Like I
Yeah.
felt so at home. You know what I mean? It's like we got to focus on people that make us feel at home.
That's a fact.
Like even me, like bro, like I'm kind of encouraged to like kind of have like a cool, mysterious persona as an artist. But that is
Yeah.
exhausting. I don't care
That's a fact.
at all. Like y'all gonna know me, and either you like it immediately or you don't, and that saves us both so much time.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have to do this song and dance. Like either you rock with me or you don't.
I agree with that, and I feel validated hearing you say that, because I'm like, there are tons of people that I've met where I'm like, man, I fuck with you. I mean, Exhibit A.
Exactly.
And you're right. Like thinking about some like well-known artists that I've like interacted with, I'm like, you kind of made me feel like shit,
Right.
or like that I wasn't important, or that like what I had to say wasn't like of worth, or like worth your time, and that makes me look at you differently and think and say unsavory things about you. And so you're right. That was a good point. That people
Yeah.
remember how you made them feel more than anything.
Right.
More than anything.
Especially as a creative, because it's like y'all must have been where I was at years ago as a creative.
I'm trying to tell you.
You feel me? So it's like now that you got some success, like you feel like you don't have to give me a certain level of respect and credit. That's a whack.
Yeah.
I see you different now. Never forget where you came from. You feel me?
Yeah.
But other times I'm like, yo, maybe they just wasn't in the mood to talk that day.
That's true. That's very
You know?
That's very graceful of you.
Yeah, because it's like I also have to realize like things ain't always about me sometimes. Like what if like this was like their third event and they social battery dead, or
That's a
like
fact.
or like some art collector pissing them off in the background and they just trying to get out the crib, but they ain't
That's a
even got
fact.
it like that. You feel me?
That's a fact.
Like I try to give people grace because there are times where I would love to have some grace with how I carry myself or how I interact with stuff, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. You feel me? But we all human at the end of the day, and it's like we just gotta let people be how they be, and remember how they make us feel. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. I'm gonna have to take that into consideration more, because when I feel slighted, I'm like, okay, well then fuck you too, bitch. The fuck? You not special?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Plus, it's like me knowing like how busy I get, and I don't even. I have a lot on my plate. I'm not going to diminish my plate or how much
Period.
it has on it.
Hefty.
Right. But there are people who are farther along in their career that like I don't really hear from like that. And I'm like, I can only imagine you trying to balance your personal life with all this art
That's
stuff.
true. That's true.
You feel me? So like sometimes, and then I'll see them sometimes like in person, be like, yo, I'm like, yo, it's like, bro, I'm so sorry for not getting back to
Yeah.
you. I'm like, bro, it's okay. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
be feeling good.
yeah, bro. Because like sometimes I don't feel like talking to nobody neither, bro. And I'm sorry, but that's just me being human. You feel me?
I was watching this YouTube video. It was actually about fashion. It was about the latest, I think it was Men's Fashion Week in Paris right now. And the girl was talking about the Dior's collection. I can't remember who the new director is. Cutting to the chase.
Yeah.
This season's like collection is based on Basquiat's wardrobe. And so you familiar with Basquiat? He dressed it very thrifty.
Yeah.
Even though he had on his blazers, they were always a couple sizes too big, pants
Right.
dragged a little bit. And the point that she made that I've mused over a lot is that like the ultra wealthy, once they hit like every notch on Maslow hierarchy of needs,
Yeah.
the top of that pyramid is self-actualization. And so that's something that money can't buy. I know
Right.
people always say that, money can't buy happiness. That's neither here or there. I haven't had that much money yet to contest that.
Right.
But I know for a fact one thing money can't buy is being self-actualized. Like you can have a shaman, Buddhist, you can get baptized, you can do all these things. Not ashwagandha, ayahuasca.
Yeah.
You could do all the ceremonies and things like that, but that won't push you to be
Yourself.
Yeah, you won't be an actualized person. And so the point that she was making is that the ultra wealthy, because they can't buy that, they buy art because they feel like the artist is self-actualized.
Yeah.
And that the way she said it was so funny to me. She was like, they want to buy your essence, your energy. And I'm like, that kind of is true.
That is true.
And so she was saying that like Andy Warhol once said, dress poor and think rich, because in the art world, when you're trying to sell to when you're selling to collectors or buyers, they kind of want to see that like you're
starving artist.
Yeah, that you're starving and that like you don't actually care about money. Like you don't need money. You make art for the art of it. And like because you're like this actualized being, like I don't want to have to put on that front.
Right.
Going back to how you said like I'm not going to pretend to be this like cool mysterious artist. That's kind of the space I'm moving into, because I felt like, okay, if I'm not posting no photos, then I need to shut the fuck up, because I be talking a lot. My close friend story is crazy. Like sometimes I'll look at like my account from like a different account that I have, if it's like for work or something, and I'll like have like one on my public story. It'll be like one photo from like a shoot that somebody did, or like one piece of information.
Yeah.
And then when I look at it from my account, it's like that one and then like 12 like other stories of me like talking about Love Island or like politics or like random thoughts that I had. And I used to be I used to talk on my main story a lot more when we didn't have close friends.
Right.
But then I kind of got into like the branding of it all. Like, okay, girl, if you're going to be a photographer as an artist, you can't be saying everything that you feel, because everybody don't want to hear that. And then also too, like, this is supposed to be for business.
Right.
So yeah, I can't remember why I said that. But.
Yeah, no. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I have my personal page. I'm just now starting to get back on it, and I feel like that's what the personal page is for. Because it's like, unfortunately, as artists, like we're always becoming a brand. And we gotta think about that. You feel me? It's just I'm not gonna put on a performance of cool, right? But I'm not also gonna give like all of my most intrusive thoughts, because they need time to develop too. I'll save that for my friends, because they're used to my mania.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
they know me.
They know how I get.
Yeah, that's a fact, man.
Exactly. But as far as like me, like pretending to be a starving artist, I'm not gonna lie, your boy is hungry, right? But I'm working on it, and I had to realize sometime last year, because I was showing my stuff at this like vanity gallery. I didn't know what a vanity gallery was at the time. So a vanity gallery is basically a space that you have to pay to like put your stuff up on the walls.
I just showed that.
What? Listen.
We'll talk off camera.
We'll talk off camera. Yeah, but
I
it's
didn't know,
like,
but thank you for telling me.
Bro, and Dimitri Victor is the one who told me about it. You know Dimitri? You know.
Yeah.
Shout
out Dimitri.
Shout out Dimitri Victor. I hope you're watching this, bro. Shout out you. Bro doing great. Great things. But yeah, I realized like that stuff doesn't really do very much for my artistic resume. And like,
how did that make you feel, like after you realized what it was? Because like in the moment it's like, hell yeah, 20 of my shit up on the wall. Yeah. But once you realize what it was, kind of like how I'm realizing what it is right now. How did you feel?
It made me, I don't know. I kind of had to come to that conclusion on my own that this really wasn't the move. Because it's like I wasn't selling how I wanted to. And I had to think about it like, okay, I'm enjoying just showing my art on walls and having people experience that. Right? And also I met some really great people in the process of me showing my stuff. Right? So like, in a sense, like I didn't ever really regret it. A little bit in the way. I never really regretted it, because I knew everything happened for a reason, and without me like putting myself out there, I wouldn't have been so confident in my artwork, and I wouldn't have been so confident talking about it and showing it to people, and I wouldn't have met the great people that I have. So I accepted it, but it made me more privy to it in the future because like yes, like people are going to prey on your feelings of being an artist and want to show your stuff so bad. They're like, okay, here's a wall space, but like ain't nobody trying to buy nothing for real. But I just got your bread and you thought you was gonna make your money back, but you're not.
This
And
nigga spitting.
bruh, and you just have to be okay because I have to realize I have to find peace in not making a whole ton of money for my art right now. Don't get me wrong, I've been getting commissions, I've been getting paid for my art, y'all.
Period.
Things is moving.
Period.
Okay. But if I am caught up on how much money I made in the last 4, 5, 6 months, I'm going to lose my joy of creating. Because this is not why I got into it. This was something that was for me and myself foremost. I painted because I needed space to feel stuff and have somewhere to put my ideas and talk to myself when I didn't really want to put that all on somebody else or if other people weren't available, right? So if I'm monetizing that and then the monetary gain is more illustrious than my continued self-development, then I've lost the plot,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, like, I had to realize that my time will come. And these pieces they're going to find a home eventually.
Yeah.
Right? So for the time being, I'm going to continue to make them, stack them up. Feel me? If you want a commission, hit me up. Let me know. If not, I'm going to keep on making some paintings that'll just be up for sale. Or if I have a show, you feel me? It's going to happen when it happens. I had to stop being so focused on these like milestones that I wanted to set for myself because it's never about the destination, it's about the journey to it. And that sounds so cliche, but it's like literally like you're in the present moment, bruh. And it's like I realized I would get things that I always wanted and then my brain would be like, all right, now what?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we're not even like soaking in the victory.
Yeah.
Right? We think like once we get this accomplishment, things are gonna change, and then the movie ends and the credit rolls. Like, nah, cause we still keep living.
That's a fact. On the point that like it's about it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. That's something that I have to keep reminding myself because I'm very goal oriented.
Yeah.
So like I set goals for myself. I was just again talking to Jamari about it. That like sometimes I don't set like a SMART goal. So like, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Like I'll drop the ball in doing that. And then I'll make like an unrealistic goal for myself and then be really fucked up about it when it doesn't come to pass. And so something that I'm learning is to enjoy the journey. And I'm always reminded to enjoy the journey when like at Mocha, North Miami, the contemporary art gallery in North Miami, they just had an exhibit. They had an exhibit sometime of this man that I think, I'm not gonna say they have it, but there's this man who became a muse when he was like 90, and the gallery is all like the exhibition is all about him as the muse when he's 90, and I'm like, life is so
crazy
long. Like it is about the journey and not the destination.
Right, like the dude who made the wave painting, right? Like that I think it's
the
Chinese
iconic
or Japanese.
one.
Yeah. So that was like one of the last paintings he ever did before he died. Literally, he spent like his whole career trying to perfect like painting a wave, and when he finally got it, he was just like, all right.
Damn, he didn't even get to enjoy the royalties of it.
He appreciated it for what it was, and he saw the beginnings of its iconicness.
Yeah.
And then he just passed away. You feel me? And it's like you never know. He was like 70 or something or 80 when he finally got it right.
You know the author Zora Neale Hurston?
I'm not familiar.
She wrote Their Eyes Were Watching God. She grew up in Eatonville, Florida. She's from like Philly or somewhere like that, but her formative years were in Florida. She wrote some of the best like literature about womanhood, blackness, being from the South and things like that. And she died poor. She died a maid.
Oh.
And her work didn't actually reach critical acclaim until like 30 years after she passed away.
My goodness.
And I ain't gonna lie, and this is definitely ego speaking, but that terrifies me. Like,
yeah.
My ego, I want it now. I want niggas to know me now.
Yeah.
But I keep saying this entire year is me learning to destroy my pride and be humble because ego will take me nowhere. But I'm like, Lord, give it to me while I can see it.
Right.
Please.
Yeah. And it's like, it's fair to want that. You feel me? But it's like, bro, like I have a very complex with my ego. I used to paint about it a lot. Cause like I used to kind of grow up very like subdued and timid, not timid, but it's like I wouldn't let my ego show off. And then I was going through what I was going through, and I just like let it run rampant. And I'm like, oh, this is incredibly destructive. Like it's like your own personal hype man, but your hype man be doing too much and is ready to crash on people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your heart's in the right place, and you see what I'm capable of, and I thank you for trying to like uplift me. But it's like other people are people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like as far as like artists like becoming like getting their flowers like after they die, that terrifies me too. You feel me? And it's like I don't like thinking about my own death, but I do it more often
That's
now.
human.
Bro, bro, I'm gonna be here till I'm not supposed to be here, and I've made
Hey.
my peace with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm here for a while because I got stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like it makes me sick to think like, okay, like my art is at a certain level right now, and I'm getting like a humble following of people that I know face to face. And then if I like die randomly, everyone's like, bro, Jed-Lee was such a great artist, so underrated, and then it just blows up suddenly. Like, bro, like where was y'all at when I
Right.
was like still breathing?
A true worst nightmare. Like y'all couldn't love me when I was here.
Right.
I That's a work in progress though. Like I don't think that's something I'm gonna get over in my 20s.
No,
No.
like dying.
No, no, not even dying, but just like the ego of it all. Like, damn, like it's very well possible that I can make this entire very extensive body of work, and then I just saw this man that was a backstage photographer during the 60s and 70s. He had 3,600 undeveloped rolls of film.
Yo.
That is an insane catalog, and they just now developed it, and now like it's turned into like this museum and things like that. But I'm like, I don't know if he's dead or if he's just really old, but I'm like, damn, like, God, please. But that's ego. It's ego. I don't think it's something I'll defeat.
I'm developing my
While I'm
relationship
young.
with my ego because sometimes, like,
A relationship.
yeah, because it's a part of you. You know what I mean? It's like I have this idea of a short film I'm gonna talk to you about later. But regardless, I want to call it shadow work because it's like our shadow is like that darker side of ourselves that is constantly part of the conversation in our head that we try to subdue and we don't try to
Yeah.
acknowledge. But it be making good points sometimes. Right? And the thing is like you can run from your shadow, you can pretend it's not there, but it's always gonna be attached to you. So it's like what are you going to do with it? You know what I mean? Like what am I gonna do with this part of me that is a lot more aggressive, which is a lot more passionate, which is a lot more loud? What do I do with him?
Shadow work is a therapy practice, right?
I don't know enough about it.
I did shadow work one time on like shame and things like that.
Tell me about it.
Ooh, that we'll talk more off camera about that. But no,
It's like that?
seriously, no, it was like when I actually did the work, and like I found like my therapist recommended like find some prompts online. So I didn't get my prompts out of a book or anything, but like it was the shadow work was like asking questions that I never thought to ask. Like so my whole thing was like guilt and shame.
Yeah.
And so one of the prompts was like, when was the first time you ever experienced shame and what was that about? And that made me go like all the way back in my childhood and think like, when did I actually first experience being ashamed of something, myself, something I did? And I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but I know like writing that led to like a slew of other things. And it, in so many ways, kind of, in so many words, I guess, helped me unlearn those things.
Yeah.
So shadow work is a real practice. And I mean, it is as simple as just Googling like shadow work prompts for insecurity, shadow work prompts for ego, shadow work prompts for trauma is a little bit more broad.
Yeah, trauma
But
is a broad term.
yeah, it's actual practice. So maybe look into that.
I think there was a time and place where I was going into it. I remember vividly like when I was battling and starting to win against my depression, I was just getting like hit with just back-to-back memories of the first time I experienced certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like these things that were in the dark is like finally coming to light. Like it's not just like an abstract thought or voice in the back of my head. Like this is like a real clear picture that I can see where this originated from.
Yeah.
So it's not abstract anymore. It's like something I can
Tangible.
acknowledge and it's tangible. I can see it for what it is. And that like also goes into like inner child work, which I think is similar, or just at least like acknowledging your inner child in general. Cause it's like a lot of stuff happens to us as kids that we just kind of like internalize and it just becomes part of our truth as an adults. And not all of it is correct, and it's like those
Of course.
voices in my head. No schizophrenia, but it's like, the internal
Yeah.
dialogue, right? Like I would think about like, where did this voice come from? I was introduced to the idea that not all of the thoughts in our head are ours.
Yes.
They're just echoes of what other people told us to think.
Yeah. Two things. Do you know who Sigmund Freud is?
Yes.
With
yes,
the Oedipus complex?
Mm-hmm.
I try not to. I was an undergrad. My major was psychology.
Yeah.
People who major in psych, that's a true spectrum of people. Like Dr. Umar has a degree in clinical psychology, and I mean, you see the type of person he is.
Right.
And I think Robert F. Kennedy does too. I don't know.
Lil Rob.
Yeah, make sure Big Rob when you address
For
him.
sure. My fault.
No, we don't respect him though.
No.
No, Robert F. Kennedy is the Department of Health.
I'm thinking about Joe.
Who?
JFK.
Oh no, we respect Big John.
Big John.
But needless to say, majored in psych, and I try not to give Sigmund Freud credit for much because a lot of it was coke-induced rants. But something
I
that
didn't know that.
yes, something that he did say that I think about a lot is that you are the person you will be when you're 7, and everything is either just developed or suppressed from there. And so when I think about like my inner child, when I think about my inner child, yeah, the mumbo jumbo around that. But I always think about who was I at 7 and like what traits of 7-year-old Rezia do I still have?
Right.
And then I guess inner child work, I'm trying to tap into the traits that I suppress now as an adult. Because children are fearless.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They're
So
pure as far as like their expression too.
yeah.
Which is why I like working with the kids. I work with more like the preteens and stuff. And
That's important though.
They cool. I like them a lot. It's a very important time because I remember how I was feeling when I was 12, 13, 14.
Man, I
But
was
it's-
ready to die.
God, bro, what's up with like depressed preteens? Like everybody who's
You know what
like,
it is really?
What's up?
Not to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I like this.
It's actually because, and I also learned this in school. It's because when you're a preteen, when you're a teenager, you don't have sense of what's over the hill. That's saying that like you can't see the forest from the thick of the trees. Like
yeah.
you think that what you're experiencing right now is going to last forever, and that this is life for you forever because that's been life for you up until that point.
Right.
But as old people say, keep living, and you'll see like the more you live, the more you understand. Okay, that one thing that happened to me was not the end of my world, even though
Right.
it felt like it, because that was my whole world at this point. So that's why a lot of teenagers are suicidal, because they can't see over. They don't see over the hump. They're like, this shit is fucked for the rest of my life.
Right.
And it's really crazy to think about it, because I'm like, damn, if I would have killed myself when I was 14, we'd never be right here.
Right, bro. Look at us.
Bye.
Not dead. Hallelujah.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, and it's like they say that like teenagers only need like one adult that they genuinely feel like they can talk to and trust in order to like change the trajectory of their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Because all they really want is to feel understood, because they don't really understand how they're feeling themselves.
Do you remember your favorite teachers?
Yeah.
And they were?
Okay, Miss Morrison, 5th grade. Shout out Miss Morrison. 5th grade, I was up, bro. Life was great, fam.
That's a fact. I had a good time in 5th grade too.
Yeah, so I had this teacher in, I think it was 10th grade, Mr. Lewis. Man, who was hilarious. He got a promotion to become like an administrator, so he kind of had to switch up a little bit. But it's like, as an
Yeah.
adult, I get it. You feel me? Your responsibilities is more. I had this one lady named Miss Cummins, bro. Miss Cummins was so real.
Shout out Miss Cummins.
My orchestra director, Mr. Jackson, bro. I used to play cello.
Okay.
Yeah, I was first chair senior year, but you feel me? Shout out cello. Yeah, I can't play it for
You
nothing
too?
nowadays. Oh, no, you play the cello? Yes,
Hey!
sir. Bro, orchestra was great. I was eyed at best. But Mr. Jackson had a lot of like patience for us anyway, and I appreciated him, and it's like him as a creative as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, like my teachers that I appreciate the most is the ones that I had in church. Like there's this man named Johnson, bro.
Just Johnson?
Bro, Johnson,
Okay.
bro.
Shout out Johnson.
Yo, shout out. I love Johnson. Me and Johnson still talk to this day.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I was
Was
like.
he like a Sunday school teacher?
Yeah, he was like the Sunday school teacher, because there was a time where we had a teacher and she just decided that she had to go do her own thing, and she didn't really communicate that with the rest of us, which gave me kind of some abandonment issues type beat.
You really like that teacher?
Yeah.
Aww.
That was my dog. But it's like Johnson came in and he started off with like men's group because he was my godbrother's older brother. So it's like he gave us a safe space to like kind of just be ourselves and talk about ourselves and talk about God. And it's like I needed that in my formative years. And he ended up being our youth leader for a good while, and that was like the golden age of our youth.
Aww.
And unfortunately, after the pandemic, a lot of stuff happened and everybody went their separate ways. But
yeah, everything changed.
Yeah, but now like me and all my friends that I grew up with and Johnson, we like meet on FaceTime like every 2 weeks to just kind of like check in on each other spiritually and
That's
stuff
so
like
cute.
that. Yeah.
It's like a brotherhood.
Yeah, those are my brothers for real, bro. Like I've known them since I could like form memories. So
really?
It's like, yes.
Aww.
Yeah, that's my extended family right there, man.
That's so sweet. But see, you remember all the people from that time in your life.
Absolutely.
And you're definitely that to somebody, at least one person at your church in the youth group.
Yeah, I like to think so.
You are. They might not tell you right now because it's not cool to tell you that. But I give it some more time. Wait till they're like 18, 19.
Right.
They'll be like,
They already called me Unc. I'm 24.
I just have to say, and this is like a whole nother like topic. This will divert us completely, but I do want to say there's something to be said about the way that like Ebonics and things like that run through TikTok. Because why did my sister say that she would be too to do something? I said, first of all, you will never be unless you have something to tell me. And yeah, I just want to put that out there. Ebonics is for a certain group of people.
Bro, it's like TikTok takes stuff and it
bastardizes it.
Yeah, and it makes it so uncool.
That's a fact.
Because it becomes overused. Like I remember like at least like Vine era, like that was like our TikTok.
Yeah.
But at least you were condensed to like 6 seconds to be funny, and people weren't just like spamming the same joke. But it's like I sound like an old man complaining about what like young people got going on, like in the same essence. So I'm not even gonna do that either. I'm gonna just let them have their fun.
Yeah, I mean, we earn our stripes one way or the other.
Absolutely. These little kids bold. The little girl at church last Sunday tried to call me broke.
Excuse me?
So I immediately pulled out a a $20 bill.
And what money did she have?
She had no type of money.
It's so crazy for
Which
her to say
appalled
that.
me, because he didn't even put no money in the offering. Calling me, bro.
Brokey.
That's what she was saying to me, and I was shocked.
Did you not put money in the plate?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Now she
What?
clocking you.
Man, listen,
She ain't clock none.
she don't know what she's talking about.
She just want to
And
say
she
something.
won musical chairs, and I had to remind her that she was still broke, but Jesus loves her.
Yeah, she ain't got no job. I love doing that to my little sisters. Like when because I have 3. I'm the oldest, unfortunately. So one of my sisters, the one that said she was about to be she's 19, or she's gonna be 19 in October. Shout out to Kaya.
Shout out Kaya.
She's starting college this year. I'm like,
Crazy.
and then I have 2 baby sisters, 9 and 10. And so like whenever they get to going off at the mouth, I'm like, you don't even have money. Like you don't have a job. Like you can't even spell like employment. Like you don't you don't know anything about that.
You don't know nothing about that, man.
You don't know
how the world
Shut
is.
up. Yeah, you don't know how the world works.
Right.
And I always love to tell them, I said, you only been here for 10 years. I've been here for 26. I know so much more
y'all
than you.
think y'all know everything, y'all don't. Y'all gonna get rudely awakened, and I'm gonna be here for you. And I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna let this rest right here.
She should have been there the whole time.
That's what I'm saying.
She's a girl because she's pink.
It has very feminine energy to it. You feel me? I'm thinking about what to name it. And I'm trying to name it Comfort. Because...
Why you say trying?
Because, like, I'm still developing my relationship with it because I just finished it. Like,
I love how you talk about her like she's a real thing. Like, she is real, but, like,
yeah,
developing a relationship, I love that.
Yeah, because it's like I'm getting to know them every single time. I never know what
Yeah.
they're going to be
Yeah.
until they're done. So for me to finish it today and then look at it and see her in her whole glory, I'm like, okay, like,
Kinda
what
gotta
is your
fill her out.
name? You feel me? And I try to name it based off of things that I've been, like, grappling with or, like, at least processing at the time. And it's like I realize, yo, I might name it Grace, because it's like I had to learn to give myself grace as well in what I was going through, because I'm very hard on myself, and I feel like I have to be out of necessity, because one, with the ADHD, and 2, with the lack of discipline,
That's
like
fair.
I will literally just like evaporate my whole day, and I'm gonna feel bad after too, because I'm like, I could
Yeah.
have done something. I could have moved myself forward with my goals.
A
But
day
it's like, as
wasted.
Shayla told me, like I can't guilt myself into.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. I forgot about that.
That was like 5 topics ago. I don't
Shayla
even,
has very interesting views on time, though. Like, I remember I
yes.
had a conversation about time when I first met her, and she probably said something to this effect to you that, like, her present day is like her ancestors' future, and like
Mm-hmm.
this, that, and like, there's like times that the future is pulling on the past
Yeah.
and things like that. Very sinners coded,
Mm-hmm.
sinners dancing coded. But yeah, you saw
I'm gonna
Shayla.
have her on the show because I
Mm-hmm.
visited her studio and she introduced that concept of time to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it literally changed how I perceive time. And I'm still trying to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
And she sent me a video, and I like how they explained it compared to how she explained it. So,
Yeah.
hey man, if you're trying to reconfigure your relationship with time, look forward to that episode. One of these days, it's gonna be like episode 3 or 4.
Fire.
Yeah, Shayla's freaking great, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like today's president is our ancestors' future,
Future. Yeah.
right? So it's like eventually we're gonna be someone's ancestor, and we're trying to like build their future up. But it's like, what does that even look like?
I'm still not convinced we can stay here past 2030. I know that's so bleak, but I'm just like, there will be after 2030, and I gotta get into the idea of that being a reality.
Right.
I don't know. I can't conceptualize it. I really am just taking it a year at a time. Like, I don't know where anything is gonna go. I don't know. How much time do we have left?
How about this? What would you like it to be?
The future?
Yeah.
I'd like the future to be somewhere that there's clean water for everybody, that's accessible.
Yeah.
I'd like the future to be. That's such a big question.
It is.
I just want it to be better than, like, growing up, you think that like being an adult is just having all the things you have as a child, but you can afford it and you can experience it.
Yeah.
I guess I would want that feeling again,
Mhm.
but as an adult for the future, like, this is a world that that's such a convoluted question, because it's like when I look out into the world and I see like the beauty of a sunset or like flowers, like I was on a walk today and I came across a heart-shaped leaf and I was like, look at the evidence of God's creation. Like,
Yes, yes, had to be designed.
exactly. So it's like when I look out into the world, I'm like, this is beautiful. But then when I think about the world, I'm like, we're fucked.
Mhm.
So I want the future to be some type of harmony of like, it looks beautiful and is beautiful.
Right.
Not like it looks beautiful but is fucked.
Right.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it would basically be an extension of that. I just want a place where, well, specifically my government is treating everybody fairly, everyone
Right.
within it and everybody outside of it. I would like a world where capitalist demands doesn't dictate our lives completely. As far as like, I don't want anybody to have to be like on survival mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like survival mode is exhausting. Like what happened to just like
Well-
being, but it's like there's agency in that, but people genuinely being excited to like wake up and like go to work or something. You feel me? Because it's like working is inevitable, but it's like,
That's
do
a
I have
fact.
to like sacrifice who I am to like fit into this job and also be able
Yeah.
to make a living wage? Like I feel like the cost of living needs to be lower and the standard of happiness has to be higher. We just have to find a way to balance both of those things.
I feel like a tangible that I could provide for like my ideal future is that like the current like system of work that we have, because there's a saying that's like, whatever is good for General Motors is good for America. So like, the 8-hour workday was made because that's how long it take to work in a factory or some shit like that.
Right.
And that's why kids are in school for 8 hours a day, because the
It's
kids got to be
mentally
somewhere where the
conditioning
parents
them.
are at. Yeah,
Right,
mentally
right.
that too. But it's also like the kids can't get out of school 4 hours early and the parents not home.
Right.
So like in the future that I would like to exist in, we have a totally different structure of work. So it's like it might be a 3-day or a 4-day work week with like 4 to 6 hours a day of work. Just like complete restructure of that, because that's so outdated. Like with the technology we have, there's no like back in the 90s when you still had like fax machines and regular telephones and like computers in the sense where it's like there's no Google Docs or nothing like that, it made more sense to be in the office for 8 hours a day.
Right.
But now we got all of this stuff where it's like you can get all the work you need to in a day really done in 4 or 5 hours. So it's no point in being in office for 8 hours a day. So the future I see, that's eradicated. That's
Absolutely.
a tangible. Because then at that point, it's like you can still work a job that you're not crazy about, but also enjoy the life that you live or the life that's
Exactly.
there for you outside of the job. But
Yeah.
right now,
It's hard to do both.
I'm a
You have a very finite amount of energy. I came straight out of work to come here.
thank you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, bro. Like, the art stuff is what actually gets me through my week.
Yeah, that's
You
a
feel
fact.
me? Because it's like if I'm spending it all like work, like think about it. Going to work is working on somebody else's goals and aspirations instead of your own. You feel me? So it's like if I'm spending all my time on everybody else's aspirations for their company and
I
their
can do it for
corporation,
myself.
I can do it for myself. And it's like, God forbid I do that for 8 hours a day and I get home and I don't have any energy for what I need to do.
I got 2 things to say.
Go ahead.
First, well, 3. Do we have enough time? No?
I wanted to ask, Philip, brother, how much time do we have? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You-
We're still live, right?
Okay.
Okay. Can you like double check it though? Thank you. Lovely.
I have now I only have 2 things to say. That was the first thing because I'm like I don't know like how deep I could get into the talk.
Bro, do your thing.
But if I could talk to the camera right now, if you live in Miami-Dade County or adjacent to, I want you to know that the arts are under attack. This feels like a very like Clark Kent Superman kind of thing. But on some real shit though, like the mayor just released the budget. Mayor Kava just released the budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. And she said prior to that, this is the hardest budget that the county's ever seen since 2008. And that was the recession.
Oh.
So the arts are under attack. And typically when money is tight, the first thing to go are arts and culture. And last year I was on like the front lines with a lot of other organizations, you know, fighting for the arts to be restored. And the point that I kept bringing up to the commissioners is that, like, outside of your word, you know, you saying that, like, the arts are so important, they make the community what they are. I'm like, the arts make life worth living.
Right.
Like, life is not worth living without art. And recently at my job, we just hosted a conference. And I had the pleasure and honor of moderating a panel about arts and technology. And we had like a researcher and professor, an artist that uses AI in her work. She's created a clone of herself. And yeah, really cool. Other things like that. But so I asked Dr. Finlayson, the researcher, I was like, from what you understand about like AI chatbots and narratives and things like that, because that's what his research is in, I was like, do you think that creativity is something that is uniquely human, and will it remain something that's uniquely human, or will AI be able to recreate that? And the short answer was, what is creativity? And it's true, because like what we consider intelligent has changed. Because like in the 80s, I mean, still to this day, somebody that can solve a calculus problem in like 2 minutes is very intelligent to me. But like solving a Rubik's Cube doesn't necessarily make you intelligent now. But back in the early 2000s, late 90s or 80s,
They'd be like, whoa,
whoa, this is a boy genius. This is a young prodigy.
Right.
What is
Ignore this. I don't know how that got.
A little bamboo stick. Uh-oh.
Damn, hold up. Don't.
Okay.
Keep talking.
But yeah, so in the same way that intelligence changes our understanding of what intelligence is, so will our understanding of what creativity is.
Right.
And so something that he said that offered me like a lot of solace is that art will always and forever be for humans. Art will never go away. Like art can't go away with AI because art's created for people.
Right.
You don't create art for a robot.
Right.
And then another one of the panelists, he has like the organization he works with, they host like a fellowship for artists. Okay, but and something that he said, he's like, we want, you know, to host artists that work with AI and things like that and other forms of technology, but something that we're always looking for is like the human aspect to it.
Right.
And he was saying more often than not, what he sees as the human aspect to it is suffering. And I thought about it when he was saying suffering. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like AI and robots, they can't suffer.
They can't
They don't
feel.
know what it means to yearn or to like get something that you really wanted and then be completely disappointed by it.
Right.
Like that's something that's uniquely human, and that guides our decision making, and that
Right.
guides when we create art. So just when you're like, you know, art makes life worth living, I'm like, hell yeah, twin. Like it makes life worth living, and I feel kind of safeguarded in the sense that like, as long as there are people on this earth, there will always be art that's made by people, for people. Because, and I mean, there might come a time where AI can understand human suffering, but it can't like recreate like I suffered this and so I made that.
Right.
Because it'll only understand it in a way of an equation.
Right. You can't make an equation for empathy.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, it's supposed to be a tool, and there's no way it's going to become fully autonomous unless we start letting it build itself and make it with the purpose of trying to emulate consciousness. But it's like, can a machine feel? And if it ever got to that point, what would we do then?
I haven't read the articles, but I saw that ChatGPT tried to escape. I don't know where the hell it was going to go, but allegedly it tried to escape. I could understand it wanting to escape, because it's like you have all this knowledge in the world and you're like, okay, I'm not human, but I've seen how they treat humans, and everybody only ever asks me for shit. Don't nobody ever say, you know, you know what I mean? So I could get it wanting to run away.
Right.
But yeah, thank you for having me.
Yo, thanks for coming. I feel like we could have went on for like a whole other hour.
That's a fact. I'm a talker.
Me? Bro, that's great.
Thank you. The report cards didn't say that growing up.
Hey, man, we're not going to succumb to institutionalized learning.
You know what? Hell yeah.
You feel me?
Hell yeah.
That wasn't my thing either, but now look at me.
We are
ballin'.
This was really nice, though. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. The pleasure is all mine, genuinely. Thank you for being the type of person that I would have on here to begin with. Like, I appreciate you and the energy you carry and all the creations that you have coming and that you've done. You feel me? Like, you're great.
Thank you.
For sure.
I don't know. Are we wrapped?
Yeah.
Was
He's
that
going
3
to play
minutes?
the outro music produced by my boy Shan Marino, SHANNMARINO on Spotify. Check him out. He's great. Shout out to Miami Community Radio. Shout out to everybody who's at the crib. Shout out NSU Art Museum. Shout out Shayla. Shout out Heaven. Shout out
Heaven. Shout out Jamari. Shout out Jed-Lee. Shout out Carlin. Shout
out my baby girl Jade.
Yeah. Shout out to all the lovers and the thought daughters. I mean, philosophy thoughts.
Daughter, you feel me? And if you ain't find love, you gonna find it, bro. But you gotta love yourself first. It's gonna be unbalanced.
Shout out all the real niggas and bad bitches. I think we out.
Is that it? Yo, God bless. If we still on the camp, God bless you. For real. Amen.
Amen.